All right, back. Nice little discussion. It's always nice to have the nice providers that aren't rude to you, aren't mean to you, and they do understand your situation, and they do understand that, whether they tell you it's right or wrong, they just understand it. And, I'm not this abusive person, period. Like, I am who I am. When you don't do what you're supposed to do in front of me, and I know, and it affects my care, I have no other option than to say something. And it's how you receive it. And what I was saying was, I loved how the girl received the EKG. When I literally sat there and I watched the patient come out, and I said, let's see if she cleaned it. Because it's the ones that they clean. They don't have the paper that comes down over the chair. And so she goes, oh, you can come on in and have a seat. I said, did you clean the chair? Is the chair all clean? We all clean, ready to go? And she was like, oh, yeah. And then she went clean, okay? No, we are not just coming in, sitting down after the next one. We ain't doing that. No, we should clean. So, yeah. And she ended up wanting me to lay back, which I've never laid back in an emergency room doing it here. Not here. I have in other places. But, yeah, everything was a little different, and that's fine. It doesn't mean that it's wrong. But at any rate, So now we did the EKG. We're now just waiting on the provider. I'm going to log into my chart and see what it says. I think it's going to probably say the same thing, But I'm going to check and see. But, yeah, she's cool. She comes and does insurance, which I have. And, I'm guarantee her and all that's in there. And just making sure that nothing changed. And, she's dealt with me enough. And I've been here long enough that if I was going to snap, I'd have snapped. If there was going to be an incident, there was going to be an incident. But have there been an incidence of rude people? There have been, and I can prove it. That part. And, they're not always nice and always kind. And again, these are people that they're not looking to see 2-3 more times, or whatever. So in most cases. And let's not forget, this is the 8th busiest ED in the nation. So it's busy. The 8th. In all the states. This is, so it's a lot going on up in here. And this is where you got me coming. It's weird. But, I understand what abuse of power can do. And, when you're in a position to be able to abuse it, some people do. Some people don't. At this moment, the nurse comes over and explains to me that it looks as though nephrology had put in orders for labs to be drawn while I was downstairs. My first question was there any reason we needed to do it downstairs as opposed to waiting till I got upstairs to the dialysis unit? Typically what happens is my labs are drawn at the unit. There are occasions where you may need to have labs drawn downstairs if you have any other chief complaints other than just, of course, coming in for dialysis. So the nurse wasn't sure. She wanted to check, but she did confirm that nephrology requested it. And my question was, why? And could we see if, I could only do one draw today? For those of you that don't know, once you get cannulated upstairs in the dialysis unit, you pretty much can get the vials of blood that you need. And you've already endured the pain of the two needles. So instead of me having to get cannulated upstairs and having phlebotomy draw labs downstairs, that's just a lot. So, and it's unnecessary pain. It really is. So having her check, okay. And here's when I would say that's advocacy. That's me saying, wait a second. Number one, okay, why are we doing labs down here? Because for those of you that are talking about cost, why do we need to have the cost of phlebotomy and then go upstairs and have them drawn there and dialysis? That just isn't necessary, right? So, and if it is, I would like to know. So she went ahead and she checked for me. She wanted to see too. Well, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Can she just have it drawn once? So here I put the phone down because I'm thinking, session before last, there was actually a lab that was left off, and I wanted to see if we could go ahead and add that downstairs, and can we just go ahead and get all the labs drawn downstairs. So if in fact we, want to go ahead and have them done here, let's just get them all. And then that way, when I'm upstairs, there's no need for them to take any additional blood. So, here you're saving blood, you're saving pain. I mean, there's a whole bunch of saving that can go on if we just take a moment to just think about what's being done and not be afraid to just ask. It was a simple question, which turned into the nurse wanting to know as well. So now, not only did I advocate for myself, I now have the nurse looking into it. And it turns out that I didn't need to have labs drawn twice, that it was totally okay for me to wait until I got upstairs to have everything drawn, including the missing lab. So, I mean, some might pause and might say, well, I just would have gone ahead and done it. But sometimes you just have to do what's best for you. And in this situation, that was best for me.